So let's see last video. What exactly the content is. This is the content where I'll be starting with the what is automation. You can see the videos. I've already I'll be giving the demo again on this. And coming to the history of Selenium, what exactly the advantages, what exactly the components which we have, what is the prerequisite to learn Selenium, and then we'll start with the component of Selenium IDE, and comes Selenium WebDriver, where we'll be using the configuration, what configuration you'll be using for WebDriver installation, and we'll compare what exactly the earlier version and the current version which we have in Selenium, and we'll cover the Java also, and we'll see the Eclipse installation, and we'll cover the concepts what exactly we'll be using in Selenium. I'll be covering the concepts of inheritance, and how we can create the package, and how we can create the class, and how I'll be running the program in Eclipse. Everything I'll be covering in the coming classes, and how we need to configure to Selenium with respect to Eclipse. And again, here we'll see what exactly the earlier version of Selenium to the latest version of Selenium WebDriver. And again, we'll cover all the oops concept which we have in Java, and couple of logical programs which interviewers will ask, and the major concept will cover database connectivity also. In these days, we'll be using database JDBC connections to fetch the data from the database. So I'll be covering this. And in the advanced, we have JUnit integration, and also the test ng. What are the annotations which we have, and how we'll handle window handles and web table handling, and what exactly the assertion and verify. And then we'll configure Maven, and how we can create a project in Eclipse using Maven, and what exactly the architecture of Maven. And when you create a project with Maven, there is some called dependencies. We'll talk about the dependency in the later classes. And coming to the concepts, we'll have uh, annotations again, and auto ID concept. Selenium directly doesn't have support to uploading and downloading of files, but we'll use auto IT concept to upload and download of a file. And advanced concepts of testng, this how we can skip using testng, how we'll write multiple browser execution, everything I'll be covering. And there's a concept called extend reports. We have a lot of report concepts. We'll be using extend report. And log4j configuration, I'll be showing how we can configure log4j. It's a logger functions, and I'll be showing how we can configure mail using Java itself, and I'll be explaining. I have already having an framework designed by me. I'll be explaining everything on this. And at last, if I get a time, I'll be giving a hands up on Postman tool. It's an API tool, so you can use Postman for API testing also. Let's start with Selenium IDE. As I said, these are the concepts where uh, it's already covered. Uh, it's simple. Advantages of Selenium is like, we'll be using for the web applications majorly, and it's a free tool everyone can use. There is no uh, money to be paid. It's free tool. And the components which we have is Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium RC, and Selenium Grid. We'll majorly cover with Selenium IDE and Selenium WebDriver, and we'll see the components of RC and Grid later classes. And coming to the prerequisite to learn basic fundamental of manual testing, we need to know, and some basic knowledge on programming is needed for Selenium. So that is a major disadvantage which we have Selenium automation tool. And the major disadvantage is we cannot use Windows application using Selenium. There's a major two disadvantage which we have. Coming to Selenium IDE, it's a record and play where we can use for Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and also we can use for IE also. In the latest version, we can use for three browsers. Earlier we used to for only for Mozilla Firefox, but now we can using for three browsers also. Let's see how we can create it. It's an add-on application for any browser. Let's see how we can add to that and how we can record and play with Selenium IDE in this class. Opening the browser. Any doubts till now? Hello. Okay. So we need to navigate to Selenium .dev. There is a button called Downloads menu, and you see here Selenium IDE. It's an add-on application. I said plugin, right? It's add-on for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, which records and playback user in. Hmm. Yeah, tell me. Who is this, Anusha? Okay, let me stop sharing and I'll. So I'm open the browser and you can see here Selenium IDE, right? It's selenium.dev is an official site for Selenium. You can see all the documentation and the releases which we have. Everything will be scheduled here. So coming to Selenium IDE, it's an add-on application for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, which record and playback user. For Selenium IDE, now the industry is not using Selenium IDE, but the basic thing which we need. So that's why I'm explaining Selenium IDE. With this Selenium IDE, there is no need to learn any programming language. Directly, if you record and if you save it, it directly saves and it directly uh, show the testing reports. So I'm using Firefox here. I'll click on download previous IDE. I not add the IDE icon add on here, so there is an enable here. Add to Firefox. Click on that. You can click on add. Click on OK. Now my Selenium IDE is ready to record. Click on that, and you see here the version of Selenium IDE is 3.17.4. It's the latest version. Click on create a new project. You can give any name. I'll be giving class 1 0801 2024. And when you click on record, you need to give the URL, the base URL of this. I'll be giving google.com. Click on start and record. I can play anything. I'll say quick info. Click on this. I'll click on every button. So I'm stopping this record. I have saved as smoke test. You can click on run all test. Okay, let me come back again. I'll record one more time so you can see this. I'll create a project again. I'll say demo and click on this google.com, start recording. I'll click on every button. Gmail. I'll click on work. I'll click on sign in and create an account. I'm just clicking on every button of this page. Create an account. This week call it as a smoke test. So now I'm stopping this record. I'll say sometimes what happen in the IDE, the mouse over concepts won't work every time. That's why we'll be getting the error. That's why we'll be using Selenium WebDriver for this. Mouse over concepts we cannot use in Selenium IDE. That's another disadvantage which we have. But with Selenium IDE, we can record and play, and also we can see the web elements here. The lot of what do you call the elements which we'll found, the locators. In the coming class, you'll know what exactly the locators which we have in Selenium WebDriver or in Selenium. So this is a overview of Selenium IDE. Any doubts till now, or I need to show again what exactly how we can record and play in Selenium IDE? Hello. Or else I'll move with another concept. Hello. So the next concept we'll going with Selenium WebDriver. In Selenium WebDriver, we need to learn what exactly, I mean, the programming language, any programming language, but we are using Java as a programming language. Basically, we'll start with how we can, what exactly the locators are in Selenium WebDriver. We have 7 locators. As you see here in record, right? IDE, right? There is a lot of elements which we have: Selenium, link text, CSS, XPaths, and we have ID also. So we have seven different locators which we have in Selenium WebDriver. With the help of elements, we'll be locating um, the elements. How we can locate the elements, I'll show here. We'll use Google Chrome. Right click. There's a option called inspect. Control F. The syntax will be like this: double slash. I'll show the X part first, then I'll come back to everything. The the one which have the tag name. We have tag name called text area. It's a child one. Then I'll take div here and followed by bracket at the rate class equal to. Class is a locator which we have, and then I'll copy this equal to text area. We can take text area. I think it's a parent one, so it is accepting text area. So I took text area at the rate class equal to the name. It should be copied directly so that there won't be any any error here. So when you see here one of one, it's selected. I need to select this, right? So I selected this. Like the similar way we can use for id also. Id, you don't need to give anything. Id equal to, okay, when you select this, you can know how many elements you're finding out. This is the one. Similar way you can use for name also. For name we have a lot of things. So when you use for I mean, with respect to XPath, then you can see similar one. I'll show text area at the rate name equal to, yeah, only one, right? The similar way we can use for title also. Text area at the rate title. I'm missing something. Okay. So we can use title also, but I don't know why it's not giving here.